Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Hello, hello, and welcome. Hello, my friends. What is going on? Phil here live on the stream. What is up? How are you? Hopefully you're doing well. And I welcome you to a full day of streaming. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. That is right. Welcome to a full day of streaming. This is actually my last full day of streaming for the week. I have a day off tomorrow. Which will be good. I'm getting basically back into the swing of things since my trip to Connecticut last week. Finally, I'll have a day off to kind of have a normal day off with Kat and do our usual routine where we do some stuff together, spend some time together, and then I'll be back on Friday for a whole week full of streaming, which we're going to talk about in just a moment. Okay. But today is Wednesday, April 17th, 2019, excuse me. Almost forgot what year it was. And I welcome you. What are we doing today? Well, what we're doing today was based off of your feedback, everybody. That's right. It was based completely off of your feedback. If you're not aware, overnight I put up a poll. For the first time ever, this was on streampoll.tv. I've never used this third-party service / website before to do an online poll. I was very curious to see how it would turn out. And what I can tell you is, number one, basically there was way less trolling voting. Every time that I do one of these public polls, either on Twitter or on Straw Poll, it seems that there's an element of someone could like bot the poll. You know what I mean? Like use bot accounts or whatever in order to skew polls that I do. Because I've noticed this where all of a sudden there'd be like an insane increase in votes out of nowhere, like a spike that would skew the poll one way or another. I didn't see that until the very end of this poll on on Stream Poll. In fact, overnight, here was the choices, by the way. The three choices for what I was going to play today was Sekiro New Game Plus, which honestly doesn't seem like many people are interested in. I'm surprised because some people had said they wanted to see me fight the other bosses at the end of the game that I didn't fight, but apparently there's not that much of a desire because people are just like, meh, don't really care about Sekiro. I guess I beat it once. I destroyed the ending, which people weren't expecting, and when I did, that killed all hype for the game because they were like, man, Phil beat it so easily. Now probably he's going to defeat the entire game in New Game Plus so easily, so now they don't want to see it anymore. So, if anything, what you see here is it looks like people just wanted to see me rage at the game, and that was it. Once the rage died out because I got better at the game and I destroyed the ending, people lost interest in the game altogether. Go figure, right? Okay, so that did not really get a lot of votes. Plus, we got to keep in mind that I've been playing Sekiro for, almost a month. So I get it, okay? The other options were Donkey Kong Country 3 and World War Z. Donkey Kong Country 3, obviously the third in the trilogy of Donkey Kong platforming games. And it's a game that I definitely wanted to play because I played the first two last month. But at the same time, World War Z released yesterday. This is a game that came out of nowhere and apparently is kind of like a co-op zombie survival game in the style of Left 4 Dead, except I think it's third person, not first person. So what I basically did is I was listening to people's feedback, and it seemed like World War Z feedback was a mixed bag. Some people like it, some people hate it. Apparently it's fun, but at the same time it has flaws. It is a $40 release. It's not a full $60 retail release or anything either. So I didn't know what to do today. So I did this poll overnight on streampoll.tv, and the poll went like this. I think it was maybe 15% for Sekiro New Game Plus, and then it was I want to say 40%, or 30% for Donkey Kong Country 3, and then the rest, which was a resounding 50%, was for World War Z. So it was like this all night long, okay? I wake up this morning, the poll is also the same, and I'm like, okay. So I post up on Twitter at 9:30. Well, it looks like we're playing World War Z today, per the results of the poll, so I hope the game is good, and it ends up being fun like Left 4 Dead was. So I buy the game, I install the game, I get all ready for today's stream, and then I look at the poll last minute, and it says, oh, it's a tie. I'm like, now wait a minute. Now wait a fucking minute. I announce on Twitter that World War Z won the poll. I buy the game and I install it. All of a sudden, within 30 minutes, hundreds of votes come in for Donkey Kong Country 3. Bullshit. That's what I said. Called bullshit. Apparently, whoever these parties are who mess with my polls, to try to skew results or whatever. Apparently saw my tweet about World War Z winning and said, "Oh, I want to fuck with Phil." So they ran to the poll and put in like over 100 fake votes to game the poll. There's no way there would have been over 100 votes in 30 minutes when I had already announced a winner. It's just horseshit. Okay? So sadly, what it looks like to me is that even this place, this streampoll.tv, even this is not immune from trolling when it comes to polling. It just seems like there is no good place to do a public poll at all. That it just seems like no matter where you do it, people can fuck with the poll. So it really seems like the only place you can have a controlled environment is your own website. Like, for example, theking8.com, I do a poll on the forums, right? That can be a controlled environment because it requires you to register your account, and you're not going to have someone putting in 400 registered, bots in order to try to skew a poll over there. You see what I mean? It's too much work. Sadly, though, I know what would happen if I tried to do one of these polls on theking8.com. You'd probably get like 30 people voting. That's it. As opposed to this poll I did overnight, supposedly I had over 400 people who voted. You see what I mean? So that's always the problem with trying to do polling in a controlled environment, is because you have to jump through hoops to do it, i.e. register for a forum or whatever. Way less people will do it. So for now, I'm happy with the result. We're going to play World War Z today. We're going to check it out. But, for more serious things, like, for example, coming up, if we hit the subscriber goal for this month, I'm going to be doing what's called a Viewer's Choice event. And if you're not aware, the Viewer's Choice event is going to be where everyone is going to be able to nominate and vote on games as long as we hit the subscriber goal of 600 subs for this month, which, by the way, we're on an upward trend. Subs are going up every day, which is a good thing. So if that's the case, I think I need to do that in a controlled environment. I just can't have people willy-nilly voting and skewing polls and shit. So for that event, I'm probably going to require, if you want to nominate and then vote on the games for that Viewer's Choice special event, you're going to have to register for my forums, and you're going to have to, you're going to have to post up there. You see what I mean? Or vote there. But for these public polls, I think I'm just going to do them, I don't know, random. Maybe I'll just go back to Twitter. Because, like I said, this stream poll seemed to work. And then all of a sudden, last minute, over 100 votes coming out of fucking nowhere within 30 minutes, which is complete horseshit. So, obviously, it's nothing. No one is safe, as they say. No matter where you hold these public polls, people have found ways to fuck with them. So, it is what it is. Okay. So, anyway, getting back on topic. So, today, per your votes, we are going to be checking out World War Z. So I've heard that basically this game is okay if you play it with AI, but that the AI can basically be pretty stupid and not do certain objectives that you need to progress in each stage. So really, ideally, what you need to do is team up with humans. Of course, you guys know whenever I team up with humans, people troll them. And what's going to end up happening is, more than likely, people will message the randoms who I'm teaming with and say, "Are you afraid that's Darkside Fail you're playing with? And he's a scammer, and he's a pedo, and he's a masturbator, and he's this and that." And then they get all these pop-ups because, the common player is not a streamer. The common player is not like me. So they probably got all their pop-up messages on and everything. And all of a sudden, they're going to get random messages from fucking assholes spamming them, saying that you're playing with Darkside Fail, blah, 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 blah. And it basically just makes it a bad time because then they might get on the mic and talk about it, and it just derails everything. So, it's basically kind of a trade-off. I could try playing this game with AI and see how it goes. I don't know how it's going to go. It could be pretty shitty. I could play it with randoms, but if I do that, I have to mute the mic. I just have to, because that's going to happen. So there you go. Like, that would be the two options. Either playing with the mic muted, or doing just with AI. And you know what? I remember when I played Left 4 Dead back in the day, it was kind of the same thing. Not that people would troll the way that they do today, but you'd get a lot of annoying people randomly on the mic who just wouldn't communicate in a way that is anything productive, or they would basically have shit going. Like, they got music playing in the background. There's a baby fucking crying. There's a wind tunnel behind them, which is really just a fan blowing right into their mic. And, it's kind of back in the day, it wasn't that big of a deal. You just mute everything, right? So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. we'll see how it goes and go from there. And of course, Bailey and Tufo completely ignoring what I just said. He says, I wouldn't worry about it. Not everyone is a troll. I didn't say that they're trolls. I'm saying if you're just a random person, you don't know anything about Dark Side Phil, you never heard of him, right? You never heard of this guy. And you're playing World War Z random with a random team, and you're playing the game with some people, and all of a sudden, you get blown up. Your inbox starts getting pegged with inbox messages. You're playing with Dark Side Phil. He's a nasty person. He's this, he's that. All the bullshit slander that people always say about me. You're going to obviously bring it up, right? You're like, wow, my inbox just got fucking destroyed by a bunch of people saying stupid shit about someone I'm playing with. What is this nonsense? And then you might start reading it. And that's exactly what's happened in other games that I've played. And it completely derails everything. So it's not that people are trolls. It's that the trolls harass the people. And then the people react appropriately. And that's what happens. Okay? So it has nothing to do with, oh, not everyone's a troll. That's just a stupid statement. I didn't say that the people would be trolls, that they're going to get harassed. So the best way to go about it is just to leave it muted. So if this does happen, there's zero impact on the game because I'm not going to hear any reaction because it's muted. You see what I mean? Okay. All right, so we'll see how it goes today. Now, from what I'm to understand, this game has 4 separate mini campaigns, much like Left 4 Dead did. If you guys remember, Left 4 Dead had the same kind of deal. It had like a campaign in the city streets, a campaign at a carnival, a campaign out in the woods. I remember those, and they were very fun. It was very unique to have those kind of campaigns because it gave variety to the game. If you remember, each campaign had phases where you start off fighting certain zombies and you get into a certain area, you get weapons and stuff, and then, oh no, here comes a big monster zombie you have to defeat, like a boss zombie, and then there'd be waves of enemies and stuff to survive, and it was very tense and very fun and interesting. So we'll see how this goes, if it is really 4 mini campaigns. Now, someone said, if you're good at the game, you could beat it in, like, one sitting. So I could beat all 4 campaigns in one sitting. I mean, that's not surprising. Left 4 Dead was the same. If you remember, Left 4 Dead, you could probably beat in like 4 hours as long as you were beating every campaign, surviving. But apparently what this game is really about is replayability, where you can level your characters up through surviving and getting new levels, new abilities and items and stuff, and then taking on the harder difficulty levels where it really ramps stuff up and stuff. So we'll see. This seems like an interesting premise for a game. I don't know how well it's going to translate into a longevity for the stream. It's probably good, at least good for one session, and if it's good enough, maybe I'll play it again this weekend. But I don't know, being from what people are describing it to me, if this is going to be anything that has legs and that you guys are going to want to see me play, in the future, besides maybe 1 or 2 sessions. I guess we'll have to see. Okay, I mean, I was $40. And so, $40 for a game like this, I hope that it has some kind of longevity. At least it wasn't a full 60. But at the same time, dropping $40 on a game that I may only play once or twice is kind of it's demanding. Especially with, the way things are going with me behind the scenes financially and everything. I don't have a lot of, disposable income. So I basically got to do my best to, get something out of this game. I hope it's good. I hope you guys like watching it. I hope I enjoy playing it. And I hope maybe this is something I play at least another 1 to 2 times. So at least we get something out of it. The bottom line is next week, we got Mortal Kombat 11 and Days Gone, and once those are out, probably this game will be just an afterthought and never think about it ever again. And that's fine. Really what I'm looking to do is have something right now to kill some time until next week. And that's good. So we'll see. We'll see how today goes. All right. Then tonight, I'm going to be doing a Minecraft stream. And it's going to be a 2-hour Minecraft stream later tonight. What are we doing in Minecraft tonight? We're going to be exploring underwater for the first time ever, because I finally have the ability to do so. I finally have a full diamond armor set that has all these special abilities that I enchanted it with, and a few of the abilities allow me to respirate underwater. Obviously, I can't go infinitely, but it's going to definitely allow me to go down there and do more stuff, and I'm interested in looking what's underwater, and also is there like underwater temples, because people have told me about these underwater temples that are really cool. They have great loot, and they're exciting. It's like a dungeon, and I've never been able to check one out, ever. Okay? So that's going to be fun. It's going to be something different in Minecraft. So hopefully you guys will be here tonight around 6:45 p.m. 2 hours of Minecraft. Okay? I'm off tomorrow. That's my day off. But I'll be back on Friday with Phoenix Wright. Yes, I am going to do one more major Phoenix Wright stream. Only one more. And what I mean by that is after that, Phoenix Wright will basically make it into the mix as a late night stream. I don't want to keep doing it as a main stream of 4 hours of me talking constantly. It kills my voice, and quite frankly, I did it yesterday and it was fun, But I was like, man, there's no way I could do this like often. You know, this is something that I have to do maybe every once in a while. So that's going to be Friday. One more major stream of Phoenix Wright Trials and Tribulations, 4+ hours of voice acting. Okay. Then on Friday night, I'm going to be doing Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Blackout. It's been a lot of fun playing Blackout recently for a couple reasons. First of all, because they added a sledgehammer, and the sledgehammer is incredibly fun to play with. You can insta-kill a lot of people, or maybe it's a 2-hit. It's so cool to sneak up on people and go whack, take them out. But I've also been doing pretty good recently, and the Blackout streams have been quite fun with interactions, but also with me. You know, basically, I've gotten to the point where I can pretty much get close to winning almost every time I play this. So that should be fun. That's Friday night, okay? Then Saturday, I don't know what I'm doing. And the reason I say that is I don't know. I could be more World War Z if we really like the game today and it seems like, oh, let's do some more. I could play it again on Saturday. Or I could start up Donkey Kong Country 3. Or I could do Sekiro New Game Plus. So I really don't know what I want to do on Saturday. Basically, I have 3 days, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, okay? 3 main gameplay streams that I need to fill. And I'm not really sure what to do for these streams. I'm not sure what's going to interest people for 3 days. Because on Tuesday, we got Mortal Kombat 11. And once that's out, that's it. That's going to trump everything. That's going to be the main gameplay streams for a bit. And, you know, I'm going to be checking out all the characters in Mortal Kombat 11, doing the campaign, you know, story mode, the crypt. It's going to be a ton of content. If you remember, the last 2 Mortal Kombats had so much content in them that it ended up lasting weeks. And I get the feeling this is going to be the same deal with Mortal Kombat 11. But I need something up until then. You see what I mean? So I guess we'll see. Okay? I guess we'll see. What's going to happen this weekend? Will it be more World War Z? Will it be Donkey Kong Country? We'll see. Maybe I will do Donkey Kong Country for a couple days there, depending on how things go. All right? Fair enough? Okay. So there you go. That's the rough schedule, everyone, for the next week. I hope you like that. It should be enjoyable for everyone, and I certainly hope that you guys will come by the streams and hang out with me. Now we move on to the plug segment, the shameless plug segment. For those of you who like the daily live streams, the fact that I stream so much and I put up all my archived streaming gameplay over on my YouTube channel, DSPGaming, in long form format, an hour or plus long videos. If you enjoy all of this and you want to see it continue and you want to support my efforts to keep doing this, there are many ways that you can contribute. First, you can check out my Patreon at patreon.com/darksidephil, where your monthly pledges earn you personal perks. And these perks are pretty good. For example, you get premium forum access that will give you priority to nominate and vote on games for events. In particular, this upcoming Viewer's Choice event, patrons will have priority to nominate and vote games for them. All right. You could get a private Q&A video made. You could get your questions answered for sure on my bi-monthly Q&A show, Ask the King. Which, by the way, incidentally, Ask the King should be coming up in May. I forgot to write it on my calendar because I'm an idiot. But it should be coming up in May because we just did one at the end of March. So yeah, so the end of May should be the next episode. So give it a look. All the details are up there. Patreon.com/darksidephil. And thanks to anyone who supports me via Patreon. I have a Teespring store where I sell all kinds of fun merchandise. T-shirts, hoodies, mugs, all kinds of stuff. Give it a look. Anything you buy from my Teespring store helps me out directly, and you get a cool collectible. By the way, they're very high quality stuff. I have owned some of the T-shirts for over 2 years, and they haven't worn out or faded at all in all the times that I've worn them on stream and washed them. So that attests to the quality of the stuff that you get from over there. Okay? Fair enough? Okay. Now, if you're here live on the stream, okay? If you're here live on the streams, and if you are wanting to maybe do some interaction, you want to get a shout out for your contributions, you can do so. If you either cheer with bits, subscribe to the channel, or tip me live during today's stream, I will give you a verbal shout out, which is pretty awesome. Just please keep it positive, and please don't bring up, negative stuff, no insults, no bringing up detractor memes, no trying to derail the chat with drama. That kind of crap we don't allow around here. We're here to have a chill, fun stream, right? As you can see, we have a stream stats leaderboard at the top of your screen, where I will give extra credit to those who are either the top cheerer or top tipper of the day. They'll be up there for extra recognition. In addition to that, we actually have a cheering leaderboard that's integrated right here into Twitch's chat, and that auto updates for those who cheer and are the top 10 cheerers of the week, okay? As I mentioned already, we're working towards a subscriber goal this month of 600 subs. We're currently at 502. Actually, that might have gone up. And so before I end the pre-stream today, I will actually check on that to see if it actually went up or not. Okay? I think it did. So, yeah, this should be fun. I love interacting with all of you and giving you credit for your contributions. Thanks to anyone who does. Just FYI right now, cheering, subbing, or tipping are all great ways to support me, and they all, help out. There's nothing that's preferred over anything. Anything that you do to contribute helps out right now. Okay? Fair enough? All right. So, let's go ahead and let's give shout-outs to people who have contributed. All right. I appreciate it very much. Boys, Chestnut will not stay still. Chestnut, just me doing pre-stream for the past few minutes, has fallen on my shoulder 3 times. Chestnut is like, very jumpy and antsy today. All right, let's do some shout-outs, everybody. Okay, let's get started here. So we start off today with, oh my God, if it'll work. Stupid laptop. All right, we start off today with Drunk Mike Tyson, who basically said 2 really stupid things in his cheers. The first is, what are your thoughts on the furry community? I have no thoughts on it. I don't care. And Drunk Mike Tyson also said, congrats on getting married. Should we expect a baby on the way marathon? No, because number 1, we're not having kids, and number 2, I wouldn't run a marathon for it. But thanks for being stupid. All right, now we start with people who actually cheered during today's stream. And we start off with Ugly and Proud Gaming. He did a 100-bit cheer. He said, oh shit, this game is dope as hell. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much for that, Ugly and Proud Gaming. The last Rambo did a 100-bit cheer. He says, the new 3.0 for Smash Ultimate is released today, containing Joker for Persona 5, the Memento stage, a stage editor, and a video editor. Joker and Mementos are free if you bought the Season Pass. Would you play it? No, because I didn't buy the Season Pass. And quite frankly, I am not going to spend any more money on Smash Brothers. I actually talked about this on last night's stream. The Smash Brothers hype has completely and utterly died. This was a game that was white hot at the end of last year because there was no other games out. And let's face it, the game's entertaining. The game's fun, has a wide variety of characters, and it's always cool to see them beating each other up. But after about 2 weeks, I'd say all the hype, the mainstream hype for Smash died. It still has tons of hype in its mainstream community, meaning, if you're a Smash player, you're into competitive Smash, sure, it's still hype. But outside of that, most people had seen Smash and what it had to offer within the first couple of weeks. And if you actually remember back in February, Piranha Plant released, and I tried Piranha Plant on a stream. I actually really liked Piranha Plant, and I was getting wins with the character, but the stream was dead. No one showed up. No one was contributing. It was basically like people didn't want to see this game anymore. And at that point, I was like, well, honestly, I'm glad that I learned that now, because I was considering buying the Season Pass, but there's no point. People don't care. And the bottom line is people just don't seem to care. I've had very few people who have asked me to play more Smash. Since then, like, no one said, gee, are you ever going to play Smash again? No one cares. So, no, I'm not going to drop any more money into Smash to play a single character in a single stage. And, yeah, maybe they'll add other characters in the future. But quite frankly, I'm not a competitive Smash player. I understand that community. I like that community. I understand, that there's competition to it. I've seen competitive Smash, and it's quite entertaining. I'm not one of those players. I'm not into it that much. And so I don't think it's worth it to drop any more money into the game. Okay. Shout out to Real Talk Mod Me, who cheers as you can play World War Z by yourself with the AI. The AI is actually pretty good, but they have flaws when it comes to doing objectives or helping teammates when swarm. I recommend playing with at least one human control player. Also, the game has multiple classes and characters that change depending on the map. But it's definitely a zombie game in the Left 4 Dead genre. The game is definitely worth $40. Well, thank you for that little summary. Very much, Real Talk Mod Me. Appreciate that. Ratio 91 has subscribed for 10 months. Says just 2 more months for the new crown. Happy to support the Darksiders. Thank you very much, Ratio 91. An anonymous gifter gifted a sub to Sine Bolton. Congrats to Sine Bolton. And thank you for whoever the anonymous supporter is. I appreciate that. Eternal Napalm cheer. He says, did you hear the confirmed news about PlayStation 5? 8K graphics, ray tracing, and backwards compatibility with the PS4. I'm going to be very honest. 2 of the things you just mentioned to me, I don't give a shit about. Both 8K graphics and ray tracing, I don't care. And here's why. On the current gen of consoles, all right, the current gen of consoles, they can support up to 4K. They can support all these over-the-top graphical things. And quite frankly, games aren't really designed for them. Just being very honest here. The bottom line is modern consoles promise the world and they don't really deliver because the game developers are really who determines what the console's going to do, not the console developer. You could put the biggest, baddest hardware inside your console, but unless a game developer actually wants to make a game that's going to utilize that and really show it off, it doesn't matter. And quite frankly, I hate to say it, this current console generation of Xbox One and PS4 has not really impressed me. Can you really tell me in what giant leaps and bounds we've seen in gaming this console generation versus the last one? Because honestly, I can't think of anything. Yes, there's been more detail in the graphics. And yes, I'd say more open world games have become a little bit more prominent because now it's easier to generate these open worlds, right? But outside of that, I really don't see the point. You know what I mean? There hasn't really been games that take advantage of anything of this next console gen at all. So now you're telling me the next console gen is going to double the resolution again. It's going to have ray tracing. I know all about ray tracing. I know all about the fact that when you enable ray tracing, pretty much it kills your frame rate. Now, of course, if you have the absolute highest end possible PC rig, maybe not. But everyone knows ray tracing looks great and also ruins your frame rate. If most modern games don't run above 30 frames per second on consoles, do you really want to turn on ray tracing? You see what I mean? And again, I gotta say, if game developers were up to the task of developing games with this technology that's in the consoles, and they did a good job at it, then I would say, great. I'm super pumped for 8K and ray tracing and all of this. The bottom line is, they don't. They seriously don't really help. They don't put the effort in to make it so that all these capabilities of the consoles are used. And I'm not necessarily blaming the game developers because it's a lot to do with the publishers and rushing a game to market. I mean, half the games that come out in the modern era aren't even fucking finished when they're sold to the consumer. They get patched for 3 fucking months before they even function properly. You see what I mean? So this modern era of gaming, knowing this, do I care that the hardware of the PS5 is going to be so much better that it's going to have these abilities? No, I don't. I actually don't at all. I don't really feel that this current console generation that we got out of our consoles, what we were promised, and especially for the amount of money that we dumped. Because a lot of us bought a Gen 1 console and then somewhere along the line had to upgrade. I had to. My Gen 1 PS4 was falling apart, and it was only through the generosity of viewers that I ended up getting a PS4 Pro last year. And quite frankly, even with the PS4 Pro, I don't see, like, Sekiro barely ran at 30 frames per second. It was dipping under there, and it's like, it's kind of frustrating. This current generation, which you would think is supposed to be great, has not been so great, in my opinion. You could disagree, and that's okay. But for me, my personal experience, I haven't really been bowled over or impressed too often. The few times when I was really impressed with graphics, sadly, the game would suffer for it. Like, for example, The Order 1886 was one of the most amazing graphical games ever, and it was a piece of shit. There's very few exceptions. I would say probably, God of War last year, Red Dead Redemption 2. There's been a few games that basically have had amazing graphics, but also a ton of quality gameplay in them. So, I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens with PS5. Now, one of the things that does impress me about PS5, PS4 backwards compatibility. All right? We have not seen a console with straight up backwards compatibility since the PlayStation 3, and the PS3 removed it. It had it. It could at one point play PS1 and PS2 games, and then they took it out to cut costs. So, I'm excited. That's cool. That would mean you don't need to keep your PS4 lying around because your PS5 is going to play your PS4 games, right? That's a good thing, especially with the fact that most of my games are digital. I'll just be able to re-download a game right to the PS5 and play it right away rather than having to worry about, oh no, I got to fucking find a disc or, all that kind of shit. But, again, at the same time, I'm incredibly skeptical. I'm incredibly skeptical about the whole deal. Also, the thing is, with the amount of crazy hardware they're talking is going to be in this console, how much is it going to cost? We're not in an era where people are going to dump $800 on a console. I just hate to say that. We're not. There was a time when people would go nuts for that shit. I don't think we're in that era anymore. People are looking for a price point of roughly around $400 tops for a new console. They're not really willing to go much above that maybe if they want to buy a few peripherals or whatever. But really, you're not going to get a consumer base of, oh, PlayStation 5 is $799 US. And you're like, well, you're a fucking idiot. No one's going to buy it. You know? So I don't know. We'll see. Okay, we'll see. But the initial impressions that I got, seriously, with the initial impressions that I got, is that they're focusing on graphics, and I don't necessarily think graphics are going to cut it next generation. We basically got to find something else to innovate, because graphics can only go so far, and the game developers aren't really caring about the graphics at this point anyway. It's like 8K, so what, I need to buy a fucking 60, 80-inch TV now to even take advantage of it? Because if you use it on a smaller TV, you can't even really tell that it's 8K. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems ridiculous to me that we're going this far ahead. Beefsteak Tomato says, what about the SSD? I mean, yeah, the SSD's good. It means it's going to load a hell of a lot faster. In fact, the rumor is that Sony's going to be pushing game developers for instant loading, meaning they want games on the PS5 to basically not have to load. That you boot it, you play it, it's seamless, right? I mean, that's cool. That's obviously cool, and if they could do that, amazing. I'm not sold that they're going to do it. Again, I'm not sold that the game developers are going to utilize the technology made available to them in the culture that we live in of rush, release, hit that release date, make the money, and releasing unfinished games. I'm not sold that we're going to get games that are going to utilize all this stuff. So, okay. Continuing on, last Rambo Charity says, if people really cared about what you play, they would register and vote on your website. I agree, but at the same time, what you have to understand is that there's a casual feeling. When it comes to interactivity, when it comes to a streamer, most people who watch me are not going to take the extra 5 to 10 minutes to create a forum account and register on my forums in order to vote. I'm just saying, they're not going to. I'd probably say out of all the people who watch me, maybe 10% of the viewers would do that. All right? A lot of people are casual viewers. They'll come by, they'll watch me every once in a while. They'll throw a cheer or a tip every once in a while. But they don't want to invest a ton of time and effort into doing something. You know what I mean? Oh, if Phil's streaming and I can click here and just watch him, great. But if Phil wants me to vote and I have to click here and then I have to fill out a giant form of all my personal information, including an email address and all that, and then I have to wait for it to be confirmed by the website and then get the confirmation email, I got to click here to confirm, and then I got to log in, and then finally I can vote on a poll. Most people are going to say I'm not going to do that. Okay? I get that. And I don't blame them. I seriously don't blame them. So that's why, even though I agree a controlled environment for polls works, the controlled environment, sadly, because it's controlled, needs hoops to jump through to get into it, and those hoops deter a giant amount of people who probably would participate. You know, I would even guess, if I remember, I think it was around like 450 people who voted overnight on this poll for World War Z, you know, to see World War Z. I would guarantee you that if the same poll were on my forums, I would get between 30 to 50 people tops. That's it. You know, a tenth, if that. So. All right, Bradford, 13131313 did a 200-bit cheer. He said, my birthday is next week. Well, congrats, Bradford. That is awesome. Happy early birthday. And hopefully you have a good one. Hopefully, maybe you've got something special planned. Sadly, I didn't do anything this year for my birthday at all. I was streaming, if you remember, Apex Legends, and then I was preparing for my trip to Connecticut. So I really did absolutely nothing for my birthday. It is what it is, though, right? As you get older, birthdays end up not being so special. They just kind of end up being another day. So it is what it is. But I hope you have a good day. And the landscapers just turned on all their equipment. So I'm going to go close my window. Hold on. That's very loud. I swear to God, I swear the landscapers know my schedule and purposely show up when I start. Because if you guys have been here, you know, over the years since I've lived here in Washington, it seems like no matter what, when I start streaming is when the landscapers start. Because I used to stream much later. If you guys remember, I used to stream at noon or later is when I used to start my streams. And then, you know, in the past couple of years, I rolled the clock back and I now stream way earlier and way more in one day. But how hilarious is it? It used to be, you know, I would start streaming at noon and then they would turn their shit on. And now I start streaming at 10 and now they turn their shit on now. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Thank you to Bradford, who also resubbed for 16 months and says, I'm 1 week from today. It's 1 week from today, and I love your content. All right, very nice. All right, well, sadly, we've got a couple trolls here, so I'm just gonna take care of the idiots, so that way they don't derail the stream chat. All right, they're out of here. Almighty Piggy, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for the sub. I Talk Fortnite, also subscribe to the channel. Thank you for the sub. Grayside Will did a 100-bit cheer. He says, do you think it's plausible to reach 600 subs without a bunch of gifted subs? Honestly, yes, I do. I actually do think that it's viable, but it's not going to happen just willy-nilly. It's going to happen when new games release. Because typically what happens is people will come back when there's new games, right? Right now, there's nothing going on. World War Z is not going to bring in a ton of viewers. I know it's not. I beat Sekiro, so all the viewership I was getting for that already is done with. And it's basically dead time until Tuesday. When Mortal Kombat 11 comes out, I guarantee that day we're going to see an increase in subs. When Days Gone comes out, I guarantee we're going to see an increase in subs. You see what I mean? But it always happens around the hype of a new release. And without the hype of a new release, it's very hard to bring in, new attention to the channel. So it could happen. We absolutely could hit 600 subs by the end of this month. If you guys haven't noticed, every day I've been back starting on Sunday, we've seen a ton of new subs every day. We already recovered all the subs that I lost during my time away, and we're growing steadily. So I am confident we could hit it. Am I guaranteeing that we're hitting it? No. But, people need to be aware. We want this monthly goal to happen. We want to do a Viewer's Choice event. It's the first time I've ever done an open Viewer's Choice event like this that I'm planning. And right now, there's tons of benefits to subscribing to the channel. There's been a ridiculous amount of new emotes, including the dab emote, the lean in ban emote, the objection emote. That's a two-parter for the Phoenix Wright playthrough. All these emotes that I've added as a result of your guys' feedback and everything. So, great time to sub. Plus you don't have to watch ads when I run them. I take ad breaks. And you also get the chat crown to show how long you've been a subscriber, right? So, very nice. I think we could do it. Shout out to Eternal Napalm, who cheered and said, also they confirmed 3D sound with the PS5 that will benefit gamers with headphones most. Also got our first tease of the new God of War yesterday from Santa Monica. Prepare for Ragnarok. Well, as for 3D sound, Sony claimed that the PSVR had 3D sound, and I used headphones. It says any headphones will work with it because it's built, the 3D sound hardware is built into the PSVR. Now, I played a bunch of PSVR games, and I'll say some games utilized it and some games didn't. For example, if you remember that, what was it? What the hell was the name of the game? Oh, man. It was the shooter, the on-rail shooter, based on the survival horror game that I had played. I can't remember the fucking name of it. Anyone remember what it was called? The on-rail shooter for PSVR where you're on a roller coaster and you're shooting all the monsters around you. Oh my, Until Dawn Rush of Blood. Thank you very much, Beefsteak Tomato. And also One Ton Hammer also jumped in there too. That game's audio was great. Like, there were enemies. All of a sudden I would hear one behind me and spin around. There'd actually be an enemy behind me I had to shoot. And that was pretty cool. But compare that, okay, with Resident Evil 7. I played Resident Evil 7, and I could not discern elevation of audio. I could hear if there was an enemy behind me, but I couldn't tell was he on the top floor or the bottom floor of the mansion. So really, it's game dependent. And again, it's nice they're going to have 3D audio hardware built into the console. So if you're a headphone user, maybe you're going to get really unique 3D audio with certain AAA games. But I get the feeling it's going to be another thing that some game developers are going to utilize and others are going to completely ignore. It all depends. Now, as for God of War Ragnarok, that's cool. Obviously excited for it. God of War was my game of the year last year. Absolutely loved it. And I like the reboot of the series, and I get the feeling the next one's going to be great, just like the last one. Plus, the last one sold so well that now they're going to be able to sink a ton of time and resources into the new one. So I'm pretty excited. Pretty excited for it. I guess we'll see. But yeah, I am very excited for, obviously, God of War. Duh. One of the best games of the last decade. So. Your boy Jermaine says, sound is usually worked on last, even though it's vital to a great game. That's sad. That's really sad. That really is, I agree. Good audio can make or break a game. You can have a game that looks amazing, but if the audio sucks, You know, it could ruin the game experience. Or vice versa, having really awesome audio can make a game much better. Even more so than you intend. You know, I can think of games with good soundtracks and stuff that actually made the game experience feel so much better. Like Persona 5, perfect example, or the whole Persona series, but in particular Persona 5. That game has a kickin' fucking soundtrack that keeps you like, you know, you get into it. Same thing with Persona 4, you know. I like all the music of those games gets you so into an RPG, and even though it's your 5 millionth repetitive fight, the music really gets you pumped and gets you amped to keep going, right? You know, atmospheric or surround sound noise in a survival horror game, in a first-person shooter, again, can make or break the game, can make it feel really good. Or make it be shitty if it's not so good, right? And people are constantly sneaking up behind you and you can't tell because you can't hear. So, that's a shame. But, you know, definitely think sound design is a huge part of gaming. And by the way, as someone who I know that I have visually impaired viewers, you know, I'm sure they appreciate games with great sound design. In fact, probably the sound design is the reason why many of them can play games at all, right? Okay. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we finished with shout-outs. Let me go ahead and I'm going to do a shout-out for the top cheers of the week. And then we'll probably get started. So, thank you to the top 10 cheer contributors so far this week. Keep in mind, the week is young. We've still got through Sunday, but so far, so good. Thank you to everyone. We got, first of all, a triple cheer. Let's try this again. A triple tie for a cheer for 8th place here. We've got Judicious Echoes, Super Blind Man, and Insomniatic Meat, who all tied for 8th place this week. Wahlberg, 336, is in 7th place, tied with Vote Democrat, so actually, technically, they're tied for 6th place. Quack and Apple Peacock are tied for 4th place. In 3rd place, we've got UCK 14K, and then a tie for 1st place. Good lord. There's been a lot of ties. But Firm High Five and Bishop of... Hold on, let me scroll over his name. Bishop of Mercy. So, Firm High Five and Bishop of Mercy tied for the top spot this week. There's no clear cheer winner this week so far. So... What's up, 007 Blaine? Good to see ya. Lawlerman is just curious. Says, do you believe pre-streams are therapeutic in nature? You get to speak to your viewership, share what's going on with you, and get to unwind. Was always curious. Yeah, it's a great way to start the day. Here's why. Because if I didn't do a pre-stream, I just jumped right into gameplay. What if I got something to talk about? What if there's something on my mind? What if there's a hot topic that happened overnight? It could be gaming news or whatever that I'm not aware of, right? And it's really these pre-streams that allow me to get that out. I can tell you about all the news and the schedule and everything. You guys tell me about stuff that's going on. That's why I really like doing these pre-streams. And as I said, you know, maybe that's why, quite frankly, Ask the King may end up kind of going the way of the dinosaur. Because I basically do a Q&A show every morning whenever I start up, right? So there's really, you know, is there really a point to doing a full-on Q&A show every 2 months when I do Q&A every morning and most of your questions get answered right away, right? I love it. And that's another thing. Like some people say, what happened to your podcast, Hate Live? What's the point of Hate Live? I don't need to do it because I talk with you guys every day. When I changed over to a full-on interactive streamer in 2017, I knew there were going to be big adjustments, and one of the biggest adjustments is having this interactivity with you guys every morning. So, naturally, by doing this, it's going to make other things extinct. Because it used to just be gameplay videos that are just the gameplay, and that's it. It wasn't interactivity. There was none of this. Now you're getting this every day, so what's the point of having the shows dedicated for it? You see what I mean? Kill Bill cheered and said, I'm hyped for the game. I love the choice. Curious if I should buy it, but I feel like it's going to eventually be a PSN free-to-play in a year or two. A year or two? If this game is how people are describing it, I would say this is going to be a free for PS Plus within a few months. No lie. Probably by the end of the year, World War Z will be free. Maybe around Halloween. Okay. Alright, so I think we've now covered everything. So I want to say thanks everyone so far for your contributions. Oh, actually, let's check sub count, because we did have a few people who subbed. Let's see if the subs went up or down. Yeah, see? We're up to 507 subs. Told you guys. I told you, we're seeing very consistent sub growth. So I do feel that by the end of this month we could hit 600 subs, especially with the new releases next week. I am feeling confident about it, okay? All right, guys. So, thank you very much for your support. Shout out to Bradford, who has the current top tier. No one's tipped yet, so can't give a shout out to a top tipper yet. But thanks, guys, very much. And let's give it a shot. Let's check out World War Z. I think at first what I'll try to do is team up with randoms, see how that goes. And then after that, maybe team up with AI if I need to, but maybe just teaming up with randoms will work. Sadly, I do need to have the voice chat muted, which sucks. But that's just life. You can't have people being bombarded with messages and then start talking about it. You know, the trolls. The trolls want to get their way, and I'm not going to allow that to happen. Okay, so. All right. Let's boot her up. Let's get started with World War Z.